Welcome back to Rusty Gains. I am Mr. Gains, and this is going to be the second episode of the auto sorting system. In the last episode, we set up, or we had the layout, and I showed you how it all works. In this episode, we are going to actually build the system in a 3x3. That way, you can see how it's how you apply the system to a base. So let's get started. We should probably start with the solar panels for your power input. We're going to, I have a large battery, and I stuck it in the honeycomb and put a door on it. A lot of people use the honeycomb for stuff like this and put like a window or whatever, but I think a door is sufficient. Even like a sheet door would be good. We're going to put 4 solar panels for the large battery. Again, this whole system can be done with just a small battery, but I think with a 3x3, you would want to get 4 panels and a large battery. Now, there's a whole science to where to put your solar panels, which direction and all that, but I normally just stick it north. You can't lose with north. You're always going to get sun for the most part. So just put your panels facing north. Then once we get our 4 panels, we are going to need 3 combiners or root combiners. And some people put them on the roof, but I think that's just a terrible idea, especially if you're playing on like a PvP server, because somebody can just come up here and shoot them off, and then your battery will no longer charge. So I would just stick them inside and then run all your wires up to your solar panels. So again, we need 3, and what you do is you excuse me, you daisy chain them all together, and then that way you have 4 outputs or inputs for the solar panels, and then your last output will go to the battery to charge the battery. So now we're just going to run the extra inputs up to the solar panels. And if you press R, you can change the color of the wire and make it look all pretty and everything, but it's up to you, to each our own. You make it look pretty or you don't. It is what it is. But we're just going to run all 4 of these, and then we will get started on the actual system, placing the boxes. Okay, at this point we have all 4 of our panels placed towards the north, and we have our 3 combiners set up with the power going to each one. They're all daisy chained together and then connected to the battery. So now our battery is charging, and each solar panel produces 20, so we got 4. That would be 80 power in direct sunlight. Once the sun starts going down, that will obviously drop, but having a large battery just makes sense. In a 3x3, a 2x2, you really can't fit one in there. I mean, I guess you could put it in the honeycomb, but having a large battery, you can set up lights and industrial crafters, which I'm going to make a video on that, and auto smelting. That way you can fully automize your whole base. You can set up turrets as well, auto turrets. But But I think we need to start with boxes. Now your boxes have a front and back. This little plate on the front is the front of the box. It's important to put your box the right direction just because the storage adapter will only go on like the front left. It'll go on the top, center, and then on each side. It will not go on the back of the box. So you don't want to face the box the wrong direction. So when you place your box, you want to rotate it by pressing R and make sure the face is facing outward, or the front is facing outward. And there we go. Now we can put the storage adapter on both the boxes. It fits. You can put them on top or the front, but I just feel like right here it's just my personal opinion. That's the best place for them. All right, now let's just start putting all the boxes down. And you can do this slowly as you build your base. You don't have to do this all at once. So obviously it's going to take some time to build the base and then upgrade it to metal. And the sorting system will probably be one of the last things you do. But I personally like to get it done as soon as I can, just because it frees up a lot of my time from sorting or just throwing stuff in boxes, or just looking for stuff in the boxes, just because it's automatically sorted. And so you manage your time, make things more efficient by having this auto sorting system. And like I said in the last video, every one of these items for the sorting system are in the tier 1, with the exception of the large battery. The large battery is a tier 2 item, and I believe the medium battery is a tier 2 item as well. But all these items are right here on the tier 1 tech tree. So you can easily make this a priority and get it done quickly. Another reason why I feel like this should be a priority is once you have your sorting system set up, then you can easily set up a auto smelting system to feed your furnaces to automatically cook your ore. And it just seems like it's way more efficient and with your time. So then that way you can progress a lot quicker. And then on top of, or then the next step is to have auto crafters, so you can auto craft med pens, auto craft bandages, auto craft ammo. So that way you always have those things available to you, and you don't have to take the time to craft them manually. And so I feel like this whole system is it's overpowered. A lot of people don't use it, but I feel like it would increase progression in this game a lot faster if people would just to take the time and build this. But I watch the same videos that everybody else does. You got Throat and Blazed and Blueprint, and everybody else. They're all chads, and they don't even build a base. They just go and counter raids and steal rockets and raid themselves. Then they have all this loot and they don't even have a base built. I just feel like it's just not an efficient way of doing things in this game. And I just feel like there's a lot more to Rust than just killing and raiding. Two of my favorite YouTubers are Willjum and Tom the Tea Guy, or Tea Guy Tom. Just because Willjum is like, he tells a story, he builds the base, and he does PvP. And then you got Tom the Tea Guy, or Tea Guy Tom. he does PvP, but he builds his base and he has the farm that he manages. And so those are two of my most favorite YouTubers as far as Rust YouTubers. If you haven't heard of them, check them out. Willjum and T Guy Tom. Anyway, at this point we have all of our boxes set up. This right here will be our drop box, and it will feed all of the boxes. This is the beginning of the sorting system. Now we need to get our industrial splitters. Now, if you want like 2 boxes for guns, for instance, then you can daisy chain these 2 boxes together with 1 conveyor and 1 splitter. You basically take the conveyor will bring them in, and then you take the out to the in of the second box, and that's basically it. So now these 2 boxes are linked together, and the conveyor will bring guns into the boxes and just start filling them up. Now, for whatever reason, you would think it would just fill up the last box first, and then once that one's full, it'll start filling up the other box. But it doesn't do that. It'll put some guns in this box and some guns in the other box, and I don't understand why it does that, but that's what it does. So when you make multiple boxes, it will put the items in both boxes. It won't just fill up the box first. All right, so because we have 4 boxes, we're going to need a couple splitters just because each splitter only has 3 outputs. So we're going to have multiple splitters per, I guess, 4 boxes. But this right here, there's only 3 boxes, so I'm only going to need 3 splitter or 1 splitter, and this will be the end of the system. That way it just makes it easier because there's only 3. And then we'll put a conveyor for each box, and make sure you place them to where you can access the filter, because you need to be able to configure the filter. You don't want to place them too far back to where you can't reach. Now we're going to take the output and we'll make that orange. We're going to take the output of the conveyor to the input of the storage adapter, and then we'll do that with each one of them. Output to input. And then I'll take the conveyor, and we'll make these yellow. We'll take the output of the splitter and connect it to each input on the conveyors. Just like that. And then we have one more. All right, and that set of boxes are basically completely set up. And then we'll move on to the next one. We'll do these 4, and what we'll do is we'll put a splitter for these 2 boxes up here on the ceiling, and then we'll put a splitter for these 2 boxes, and then we'll put the conveyor for each box over in the corner. That way it's accessible and it's out of the way. And then we'll take our output of the conveyor and connect it to the input of the storage adapter, like so. I wanted to change the color. Let me redo this. I think I made those yellow or orange. I made it orange. So let's undo this. Right, we got orange, output to conveyor, input to storage adapter. And then we'll do the same thing over here, output on a conveyor, input to storage adapter. And then we'll make it yellow from the input of the conveyor to the output of the splitter. And then we'll do the same thing down here. We need some more conveyors. The conveyor up here in the corner. That way we have access to it all. Change our color to orange. Is that what color? Yeah. And then, of course, output to input. Output to input. Then change it to yellow. Then the output of the splitter to the input of the conveyor. Output splitter, input conveyor. All right, now that whole section is done, and we move on and do the exact same thing on all the rest of them. I'm just going to fast forward through this part just because it's the exact same thing on every one of them. Okay, we have them all set up now. As you can see with the colors, it makes it look kind of nicer. Next, we need to take all the splitters and connect them to the splitter tree, as people would call it, but we're going to put it on the ceiling. That way, it just makes it look cleaner. It's out of the way, and it just looks nicer. So now we're going to take the I guess it would be the input of the splitter. We'll make that blue, and we'll make it green like we did on the other one. And then we'll connect. We should probably start at the drop box first. So we will connect that up over and around. Like I said, the pipes will not go through walls, only doorways. We'll connect that to the first splitter, and then we'll connect this splitter up to the one on the ceiling. If I can jump up here, take that, the in, and we'll put that on the out. Then we'll take the in and put that one on the out. And so the top two are connected to the system. The bottom two are not yet. We can add two more, or add another splitter, and then we can splice those together, and then take these out and hook those up to the bottom splitter. And now all four of those are connected. Run this down and around and connect it there. Now all four of those are connected. Let's grab another splitter. And we connect these two together, and then we connect these to those, just like I had it laid out in the first video. We run this through here, connect it to that splitter, and we can run this one here, connect it to that splitter. Then we run this one down to these boxes and connect it here. All right, now all of them are connected. And that's pretty much it. We just need to wire it up. Wait a minute. Did I get those? Yeah, okay. All right, now let's wire everything up. And we have space for 2 more boxes. Like if you want a box for cards only, or, you know, whatever, for scrap only, then you can set up a box for just that. We're going to need a couple branches, electrical branches. Well, actually just one. Connect the power into that, and then we're going to take the branch out, not the power out, the branch out, and we will daisy chain every single conveyor, the power input, to the electrical out or pass through to the next one. Then we can get the electrical pass through to the next one, to the input, the power input, then the electrical pass through, if I can find it. It's here somewhere. There it is. And connect that to the input. And then we do that on every single one of them. We just connect them all together. Just makes it easier. That way you don't have to have a splitter for every single one of them, and the power just passes through. So, and you only need 1 rust watt for each conveyor. So we have, what do we have? 4, 8, 12, 15. We have 15 conveyors, so we need a total of 15 rust watts. And again, you can change the color of the wire, you can run it all to where it looks nice and pretty, but it's unnecessary. I mean, it depends on how bad your OCD is. You can make it all just look nice and pretty, but I don't have OCD. I don't really care too much. I think it looks, halfway decent the way it does now, so I'm not really going to worry about how it looks. As long as it works, that's all that matters to me. Pass through to input. Then again, pass through to input. And this should be the last one. And like I said, we have 15 conveyors, so we need 1 rust watt per conveyor. So we go over here to the electrical branch and we type in 15. We hit set. And now every single one of them has power. And you can turn them all on. But I think first we should probably set the filter, because if you turn them on, there's no filter, then every box is just going to draw in everything. And so that it won't sort. The conveyor is the key. The conveyor is what draws in the item from the drop box. And you need to set the filter on the conveyor to specify what you want in each box. But I think every single one of them has power. So we are good with that. Now let's decide what we want on each box and set the filters. And like I said, at this point, we want to set up the filters. And this is the TC room, so you want to put probably your important stuff like your weapons in there. We're going to put weapons and ammo in the same box. And then the one back here, I don't know, scrap, your key cards, maybe. I don't know. It's all up to you, really. It's a personal preference. It depends on where you want to put whatever you want in the boxes. So this is normally what I do. Scrap and key cards, I put in a box. I don't know. Again, we have 15 boxes, and that's quite a bit. So it's personal preference. Just put whatever you want in each box according to the filter. We're gonna put gunpowder in here as well, and I think like low grade sulfur are cooked items. That way, when we set up our auto smelting, then it will automatically input into this box. And then once we set up our industrial crafters, then we can draw this stuff out of this box, and it just makes it easier because everything's all in the same box. And then you want to turn them on as you apply the filter. I don't really know what to put in that top box. We'll once we get everything situated and figured out, then we'll go back through and see what we're missing and tweak each one of the boxes, each one of the filters. I think we'll put stone in this one, and then the one next to it we'll do wood, and all of our electrical stuff went in here because it was turned on before I set the filter. So now all of our stone should go into there, and then wood will go into here. Turn that on. And let's see, what do we put here? I don't know. We'll put our uncooked sulfur here and our uncooked metal over here. That way, like, all of our resources are in this section. We'll put our high quality metal over here as well. Turn it on. And then I guess the other side we'll put like clothing and tools and whatever. But you basically get the idea. We're going to skip through this and we'll get to the main encore of this video. And one thing I wanted to mention is the electrical box. I'm going to manually add the cameras and the computer, the targeting computer, just because I feel like those are electronics and they're in the resource category, and I'm not going to make a resource category. Another thing, like cloth doesn't have a category since I don't have the resource category, so I'm going to add it to this one down here, just because, again, when I do the auto crafting, it will draw. That's one of the major things that are used to like make med pens and bandages. And then but you can see here the categories are all basically, when you hit the F1 and then you hit the console tab, that basically shows you what each category or what's inside each category. So I decided to put a separate box here for the scrap and the key cards. That way it's not mixed in with like the resources, the cooked metal and whatnot. And it's just the same process as we've already done. Color, I guess yellow. And we already have an open splitter, so we'll just take it straight into that splitter. I guess it should be green. I don't know, maybe not. Yellow. Yellow's fine. Then we'll make this one the scrap and the key cards. But again, you know, all the boxes, it's just personal preference. It just depends on what you want and what box and where to put it. You just add the filter and that will draw whatever you have specified from the drop box into that box. And of course we added another conveyor, so now we have to wire it up and add another rust watt to the branch. Okay, at this point we have all the filters set up, so let's just start throwing a bunch of stuff in and hopefully it all ends up in the right location. We have our wood in that one, our guns, our high quality, our cooked high qual, and I'm not sure, I can't remember what all I put in what category. That one's clothing. Then we got our construction stuff, our electronic box, and that's it, man. I mean, this is how you set it up. And again, you can set up a drop box for outside, but let's grab some stuff from these boxes. Comps, and then we'll take it into the base. And I put the traps in with guns. We got our meds, clothing. Let's go ahead and grab some of this. That way we can drop it in the drop box and we can give you a better example. Let's get rid of all these meds. We don't need them all. I don't know why I made so many. And I've tested the whole pipe thing to try to get it to go through different things. It will not go through like a vending machine. It won't go through that box, like the drop box you stick on the wall. It will only go through doors and windows. I've tested all kinds of stuff, thinking there might be a bug, but it doesn't want to go through anything but doors and windows. Because it would be nice to be able to take your pipes through the walls, but you can't. Alright, so we dropped all that stuff in there, and you can hear every conveyor turning and stuff being drawn into the boxes. You can see the screen shows what it is, but the the whole system seems to be working, and that's basically how it's done. And it's just, you know, 2x2. It's a lot more difficult because it's a lot smaller. You have less boxes. 3x3, a little bit easier, and then of course you have the circle bases and whatnot. But it can be put into any base. I mean, even a 1x1, which you don't have very many boxes, but it can be done. Whoops, did not mean to do that. I had the hammer in my hand. I just wanted to adjust the filter. We have to rewire it all and repipe it because I'm an idiot. But you basically, if there's stuff still in the drop box that's not being drawn through the system, then you just figure out what category it is and add the category to one of the boxes. That way everything gets filtered into the system. There is a category of other. Now that's just like fun stuff, I guess, under the crafting. And so you might want to add that to a different or to another box with another category, just because I doubt if you're going to have a whole lot of that stuff. We got to go back and fix this. All right, we got our mistake fixed, but yep, this is it. This is everything. This is this whole system right here squashed into a 3x3, and it works. You know, it's going to make life much easier in the game. All your stuff will be organized. You know where it's going to be, and it's real simple. Each box has a storage adapter. Each storage adapter connects to a conveyor, and then the conveyor connects to the splitter. Well, this is basically it. Hope you all learned. Next video, we'll do the auto smelting, and then we will do the auto crafting. Hopefully I broke it down and made it simple for everybody to understand and showed you step by step on how to do it. It's really quite simple, but I don't know. Hopefully this helps. I appreciate the views. I appreciate all the subscribers, and there will be more tutorials, so please subscribe, and I will see you all in the next video.